Okay, Prabhu, can we get started? Will you please unmute? Let me start the recording. One moment.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Can we start, Mataji?
One moment, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Good evening, all. ISKCON Chennai welcomes you all to the Bhagavad Gita lecture session. Today, we are fortunate to have His Grace Prasanna Gopinath Prabhu with us. Prabhu is going to speak from Bhagavad Gita verse 6.35 on the topic of control mind by practice and detachment. So let's welcome Prabhu by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes, Prabhu.
We'll start with prayers. Om Ajnana Timaranasya Jnananja Shalakya Chaksharum Nitanjena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutare Srimate Bhakti Vedant Swamini Iti Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatrubhascha Kripa Sindhubhyaicha Patitanam Pavlebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Śrīvāsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So Bhagavad Gita verse 6.35 asaṁśayaṁ mahā-bāho mano durnigraham calam abhyāsena kaunteya vairāgyeṇa gṛhyate. śrī-bhagavān uvāca, the Personality of Godhead, said, O mighty armed son of Kuntī, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The difficulty of controlling the obstinate mind, as expressed by Arjuna, is accepted by Personality of Godhead. But at the same time, he suggests that by practice and detachment, it is possible. So what is that practice? In the present age, no one can observe the strict rules and regulation of placing oneself in a sacred place, focusing the mind on the Supersoul, restraining the senses and mind, observing celibacy, remaining alone, etc. By the practice of Krishna consciousness, however, one engages in 9 types of devotional service to the Lord. The first and foremost of such devotional engagement is hearing about Krishna. This is very powerful transcendental method for purging the mind of all misgivings. The more one hears about Krishna, the more one becomes enlightened and detached from everything that draws the mind away from Krishna. By detaching the mind from activities not devoted to the Lord, one can easily learn vairāgyeṇa. Vairāgyeṇa means detachment from matter and engagement of the mind in spirit. Impersonal spiritual detachment is most difficult than attaching the mind to the activities of Krishna. This is practical because by hearing about Krishna, one becomes automatically attached to the spiritual spirit. This attachment is called paresanubhava, spiritual satisfaction. It is just like the feeling of satisfaction a hungry man has for every morsel of food he eats. The more one eats while hungry, the more one feels satisfaction and strength. Similarly, by discharge of devotional service, one feels transcendental satisfaction as the mind becomes detached from material objectives. It is something like curing a disease by expert treatment and appropriate diet. Hearing the transcendental activities of Lord Kṛṣṇa is therefore expert treatment for the mad mind. and eating the food stirred offered to Krishna is the appropriate diet for suffering patient. This treatment is the process of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to speak about verse 6.35, where Krishna is talking about how to control mind. If you remember in the 5th chapter beginning, Arjuna asked one question about renunciation of work and work in devotion. And the whole chapter Krishna explains about how that renouncing work is inferior to working in devotion. In the 6th chapter, Krishna talks about that renouncing work and dhyan yoga are almost same, because in both one get attached to the Supreme Lord. And then he talks about next 30 verses about how to put your mind in meditation for about Supreme Lord. And I think he tells about Ashtanga Yoga also in this chapter only. But end of, I think this is 35th verse, so 34, 33, 32 verse, or 33rd verse, Arjuna tells, okay, whatever you have told meditation on, but I somehow find it very difficult to follow. And it is impractical. It is not easy to go in a secluded place and sit under the tree and practice that meditation. This is what Arjuna tells. And then in the last verse, he says, I find it easier to control wind compared to mind. This is what the last verse he tells. And in this verse, Krishna is answering. So two things. One, Arjuna finds easier to control the wind than the mind. This is very important to understand. I don't think anybody can control the wind in Kali. We cannot. As how much, but Arjuna said that he is able to control. He find it easier to control the wind than. So how flickering the mind is. In fact, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that the biggest problem of human being is mind. It flickers a lot, goes from one place to another place. So, as I said in this verse, Krishna is talking about how to control the mind. And he says by suitable practice and detachment. So, we will try to understand what is this Krishna is talking about suitable practice and detachment, and what Srila Prabhupada is explaining in his purport, and what can understand from that. So suitable practice means living in Krishna consciousness. And detachment is from the thing which is not favorable to Krishna consciousness. In this material, there are many things which are not favorable to Krishna consciousness. And there are very many things which are favorable to Krishna. So what we have to practice and take what is favorable, and we have to leave what is unfavorable. That is what we have to practice. And we have to live in Krishna consciousness. So in Krishna consciousness, there are 9 types of processes. Krishna, Srila Prabhupada tells in the purport, and he defines a Navveda Bhakti. But he writes in the purport, the first and foremost of the such devotional engagement is hearing about Krishna. And this is a very powerful transcendental method for purging the mind of all misgivings. So Srila Prabhupada is actually telling, if we follow the process of hearing about Krishna, then we can control the mind. So hearing is a very easy method. You don't have to put a lot of efforts. We can hear. But hearing from whom is very important. Hearing is very easy. One sits in front of the TV, one can hear what is going on. One sit in the public, we can see people talking, we can hear. And people will talk everything. But hearing from the bona fide spiritual master, hearing from the bona fide devotees from the bona fide sampradaya, reading the books of the bona fide sampradaya or the bona fide scriptures is the process which will help you to control the mind. I will inform you a small pastime in Mahabharata, and you must have heard about it when the Pandavas were in 14 years of outside kingdom, or the one before they were hiding in the jungle. It's that time. The Yaksha pastime with Yudhishthir Maharaj, where Yudhishthir Maharaj sends their brothers one by one to bring water from the lake, and one by one, nobody returns, and then finally Yudhishthir Maharaj goes to the lake, and when he's about to take the water for drinking, the Yaksha comes and he asks few questions, and he tells Yudhishthir Maharaj, if you will answer these questions, and I will make your all brothers come alive. And then one of the questions Yaksha asks is, what is the thing which travels fastest in the world, in this creation? And Yudhishthir Maharaj answers, Mad, that is mind. It travels the fastest. It flickers so much in one split of a second, not even 1 second. It can be here, it can be in the next level. We will not know also where it has reached. It is so fast. Nothing travels faster than mind. So this Yaksha says, yes, this is right. And then all the brothers come alive. And this is one of the 4 or 5 questions I remember. So that's what I was telling. So coming back to hearing, it is the easiest of the processes among the Naveda Bhakti, and uh, most effective also. If we see, most of us have joined Krishna consciousness after hearing only. Hearing from devotees, hearing from acharyas, hearing Srila Prabhupada lecture. Or some may say, we argue that I have read books. So reading is also type of hearing, where Srila Prabhupada has given us the purpose in the written form. So he is talking to us in a literature form. That is, when we read, we are hearing him, his purpose in the literature form. So that is also a part of type of hearing. So it is most effective. And we see that when Srila Prabhupada went to America, what he was telling, he was asking people to chant and hear, and he was giving lectures, and that made normal people devotees. That's what happened in US. So if we see, hearing has been the easiest of the process, but most effective. And that's what Srila Prabhupada is trying to convey in the purport, where he's saying we should emphasize on hearing, because that is the easiest of the process, and it will help you to control the mind. What happens when we hear from a bona fide spiritual master or a bona fide devotee? Actually, what happens when we hear a bona fide hearing? Bona fide hearing means that somebody from a bona fide sampradaya who's not deviating from the philosophy given in the sampradaya, and he's talking what is there in the scriptures. He is not concocting his own theory. That is bona fide. So when we hear from the bona fide devotee, or we read the bona fide scriptures, so our ignorance gets removed. And ignorance is the biggest culprit of deviating from Krishna. We are ignored, so we don't come into Krishna consciousness. But if our ignorance is removed, we start believing, we develop faith, and we start practicing Krishna consciousness. So the process is very simple. We hear about Krishna and then follow Krishna consciousness. And when we are Krishna in Krishna consciousness, we start speaking and we start hearing. What we start speaking, we start chanting Krishna's name. And we start hearing. We chant japa, we hear it. And then we are more in Krishna consciousness. So we hear, we join Krishna consciousness, we join the movement, we practice it. In the practice, we chant, and again we hear. We hear others also, we hear ourselves also. And we develop further in Krishna consciousness. We go deeper and deeper in Krishna consciousness. So when we do hearing, when we hear our senior devotees, senior Vaishnavas, spiritual masters, who are present, who are not present, both, who are present physically in this material world, who are not present physically in this material world, who are present with us in this world, who is not there, who are there in this world, but who are not with us, like Guru Maharaj. He is in Mayapur, but when we hear it, but he is not with us, but he is there available through Vani Seva. So when we hear, we do Vani Seva to spiritual masters, to devotees, and to senior Vaishnavas. And when we do Vani Seva, what happens? We start associating with them. Like for association, there are two ways. One, we are physically associating with each other. For that, we have to be there together. And second way is through Vani. We associate with each other. Like Guru Maharaj is taking class, we associate with him. Srila Prabhupada's lectures we hear, we associate with him. We read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, we associate. We hear His Holiness Bhanu Swami class every day, we associate with him. Although Bhanu Maharaj is in temple, we are at home. Although Guru Maharaj is in Mayapur or different location, we are at home. Although Srila Prabhupada is not present in this mortal world right now, but we hear his classes, we read his books with the purports. And that is like we are associating with the devotees. We are associating. We start associating as soon as we start hearing. So association is the key factor in progressing in Krishna consciousness. If you are alone, doing japa, hearing also, or doing some service in the jungle, meditating, Arjuna said, very difficult, impractical, impossible. Same thing. If we are alone, practicing Krishna consciousness, very difficult, not possible, impractical. In fact, not nobody can. But as soon as we start hearing, we are reading books. Here we are in a secluded place. We are associating with Śrīla Prabhupada, associating with Vaishnavas, associating with previous acharyas and present acharyas. And because of technology, the advantage is we are able to associate from anywhere with anybody who's there. Like we don't go to temple every day, but still we hear Bhagavatam class. We don't go to temple every day, we still see deities darshan. So the technology is like that. It helps us. And so if we do proper hearing and we are fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada is telling we will be able to control the mind. And that is what Krishna is telling Arjuna. That you practice being in Krishna consciousness and detachment. Second thing is also very important, detachment. If we are not detached from the material things, what happens? We do nama aparadha, the 10th offense. Even after hearing about the holy names, maintaining a material attachment. Even after hearing the glories of the holy names, we maintain a material, and that is a 10th offense. So, if we do the offense, then we'll go back to ignorance and we will not be able to progress in Krishna consciousness. So, detachment becomes a very important factor. And Srila Prabhupada clearly mentioned in the purport, the more one hears about Krishna, the more one becomes enlightened and detached from everything that draws the mind away from Krishna. By detaching the mind from activities not devoted to the Lord, one can easily learn vairāgyeṇa. And vairāgyeṇa means detachment from matter and engagement in the spirit. So it is not that we have to be only in Krishna consciousness and practice Krishna consciousness. We have to simultaneously practice to get detached also. And the process of getting detached is not that you physically try, okay, let's keep this thing away. Let's not get, try to see it and we will not enjoy or nothing. No. To hear more about Krishna, you will automatically get detached. That is the process. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Because this is normally 1 hour class, but with the translation, since we don't have any translator today, so it has come, we have finished in 30 minutes. Anybody has any questions if somebody is there? Otherwise, we'll close this session. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Hare Krishna. If anyone has any questions, you may raise your hand. I can unmute.
I presume since nobody is asking question, we can close the session.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you very much.
Kalparupasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patinānām pāvinebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks, Prabhu.